la noche, tu programa de política e información social comienza ahora. It's Tuesday evening, your award-winning political and information show. Listen to me starts now. Bueno, mi gente, bienvenidos. Welcome to the award-winning show. Ganador de los Sacro Imperio Awards, winner of the Sacro Imperio Awards for Best Political and Commentary Show. And I am JJ Rodriguez, and this is your show, Listen to Me. Bueno, mi gente, my dear friends, thank you very much for listening to me in Ohio, Pennsylvania, San Antonio, Texas, Ponce, Puerto Rico, Toa Baja, in Havana, Cuba, also in Panama City, also in Venezuela, Maracaibo, Venezuela, mi gente bella. Thank you very much for listening to us. And all parts, Colombia, Mexico, everywhere in the 80 countries that we are listened to in cyberspace. Thank you very much. But today, hoy, atención, atención, atención. We have it, it's summer and it is hotter, hot. And I mean like burning hot, because I mean like they took trash cans and they put trash and they lit it on fire. San Juan, Puerto Rico, mi viejo San Juan, I am so sorry that you have to wake up and see the city smoldering from the demonstrations that are going on. But I need to get this off my chest, because if I don't get this off my chest, it's like my blood pressure is going to explode, and then Miguel is going to have to call 911 and they got to do a whole bunch of stuff. And no, this is what's going on, brothers and sisters. La gente en Puerto Rico como que se hartó. They've had it with what's going on. Ricky leaks, the Ricky Rosselló leaks of 890 something pages of their private telegraph chats, putting in perspective how the inner circle of Ricky Rosselló worked, and how what was going on in their thought process for a majority of what had happened in the past, from what the money that was coming in from Trump, from what was going on in the pro-colony convention, to words uttered to people that were not in tune to him. Also, the people of Puerto Rico are now in tune that people of the Ricky Rosselló administration was schmoozing people from Univision and from Telemundo. Again, I do remind you that there's a difference in politics in the United States and Puerto Rico. There's pro-statehood fractions, and within the pro-statehood fractions, there are Republicans and there are Democrats. See? So I am the pro-statehood fraction Republican. I'm with Jennifer Gonzalez, Tomas Rivera Schatz, Johnny Mendez, and many other Republicans, also in the chambers of commerce, in the chambers of House of Representatives and Senate in Puerto Rico. Also, there are mayors who are Democrat and who are Republican throughout Puerto Rico. Do the Democrats control the pro-statehood party in Puerto Rico? Yes. I've always, for the past 3 years, have always told that the dormant Republican Party in Puerto Rico needed to do more. Yes, I chastised Luis Fortuño, National Committeeman. I chastised Zoraida Fonalleda, a good friend that we've spoken in a lot of opportunities, and we've done a lot of businesses that we've done a lot of business between Plaza del Caribe, Plaza Las Américas, because the Fonalleda's enterprise manages those malls in Puerto Rico. Millions and millions of dollars in those malls. And we've done business, and we've spoken, and we've known each other for a long, long time. But even in that friendship, I've always been critical that the Republican Party in Puerto Rico was a exclusive club, like a high society exclusive club. People with money or with power were the only ones that could belong to the Republican Party of Puerto Rico, and that disenfranchised me from some time. So when I moved from Puerto Rico to Florida, there is where I changed my allegiance from the Puerto Rican Republican Party into the Florida Republican Party. And therefore now OCREC, which is the Orange County Republican Executive Committee. Mila, how you doing? How you doing? ¿Cómo está mi corazón?
Ay, mi vida, bien.
All right. So estamos hablando...
Very good, very good.
Very good, very good. So estamos tratando de hablar sobre lo que está pasando en Puerto Rico, mi corazón. So, están las cosas candentes.
Sí, yo
has leído un poco lo que está pasando.
Sí.
So basically, within the montage of what's going on in Puerto Rico, lo que está ocurriendo en Puerto Rico, ahora le está pasando un poquito de karma al gobernador Ricky Rosselló. Now, karma is hitting Governor Rosselló. And I say karma because I know that some people, I don't care about that. I don't think that's this or that or whatever. But first, he made campaign against Ron DeSantis and Rick Scott. Now, members of his own party, the Democratic Party, is asking for his resignation. Congressman Carvajal is even threatening to evoke Law 600, which is where the insular branch of Congress that deals with Puerto Rico in the insular affairs there in the Natural Resources Committee can remove Rosselló and appoint another governor. Probably not one in Washington from Puerto Rico, somebody from Washington, D.C. We're still trying to see how that smoke filters out and see if that becomes true. There's other conspiracy theories saying that Governor Ricky Rosselló could nominate his father as head of State Department, and when they remove Ricky Rosselló, his father will become governor again de facto to serve out the rest of the term and then wait for the 2020 elections. I think that there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. That goes to my point number 2. Ricky Rosselló knows that he's not going to be able to push any measure with the enemies that he's made in the House of Representatives and a Republican-controlled Senate. So now he's using smoke and mirrors to be able to divert the public's attention from the true meaning of statehood and the statehood plight and the fight that we have to get Puerto Rico on a statehood path. Because he's a Democrat through and through. And then there is the amount of money. Hay la cantidad y millones de dinero de dinero que todavía no se sabe ni dónde está, ni dónde se fue. There's probably investigations of Ricky Rosselló's, the governor's wife, and her charitable organizations dealing with the aftermath of the Hurricane Maria. Wow. Mi amor, yo nunca esperaría que mi Puerto Rico se hubiese convertido en un Caracas, en una Venezuela.
Bueno, mira, yo, por lo que yo vi, o sea, realmente la situación es bastante tensa. Bastante tensa. Yo diría que si no hay un buen pronunciamiento, se va a poner peor que una Caracas. Bueno, peor que una Caracas es imposible. Porque definitivamente Venezuela está grave. Pero sí podría llegar a empezar a manifestarse situaciones similares. Entonces yo pienso que en ese sentido los políticos que están siendo afectados o señalados deberían de tomar un poquito de seriedad ante la situación, porque el político tiene que recordar que él trabaja para el pueblo. Él trabaja para el pueblo, no el pueblo para él. Cuando esos valores se invierten, pasa lo que pasó en Venezuela. Y eso es grave, exageradamente grave.
Y ya el pueblo de Puerto Rico está diciendo basta. It's saying enough is enough. But anyway, una cosa yo le pido al pueblo de Puerto Rico. This is one thing that I ask the people of Puerto Rico to understand. We need to be calm. Necesitamos volver a la cordura. Nos acaban de avisar unos investigadores que tienen ojos en Puerto Rico, that have eyes and ears in Puerto Rico, that the Puerto Rican police were the ones who initiated the attacks on the people doing the Pacific manifestations first by shooting rubber bullets into the crowd, impacting one woman that was in front of the police, and that's where all the melee started. If that is true, we're asking patience from both the Puerto Rican Police Department, al Secretario de Seguridad Pública, to control the police. Because yes, I understand that there were fires, there's gas lines, there's the possibilities of explosion, there's the possibilities of loss of life, there's the possibilities of losing patrimonios culturales y estructuras que son patrimonio de Puerto Rico. We're talking about, we're not talking about buildings that were built 30 years ago. We're talking buildings that have withstood more than 670 years. 670 years in Old San Juan. So if we're talking about being a people that respects our culture, Puerto Rico, estamos a la cúspide de destruir lo que es nuestro patrimonio cultural.
No lo deben permitir. Mira cómo está Venezuela. O sea, Venezuela está mal. Venezuela está grave. Mira cómo está el Amazonas, en Venezuela. Óyeme, yo no entiendo por qué el ser humano tiene que ser tan egoísta que sus propios egos lleguen a destruir toda una nación.
Exactly. We cannot, no puede pasar en Venezuela y no puede pasar en Puerto Rico.
En
por
ninguna
eso
parte.
Le pido en estos momentos, porque lamentablemente, mi querida Mila, hay una fracción, there's a fraction within the Puerto Rican politics, hay una fracción dentro de la política puertorriqueña que es la fracción independentista, que lamentablemente ha perdido su franquicia, porque lamentablemente hay que decirlo, lo lamento. Píquese quien se pique. La República de Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rico Republic, will never ever exist. It has lost its electoral franchise for 13 election cycles. Por 13 ciclos eleccionarios ha perdido su franquicia electoral.
Pero es que fíjate, yo una pregunta que siempre me hago,
¿no?
Y ahora estando aquí en los Estados Unidos más todavía, ¿no? Los puertorriqueños tienen una inmensa ventaja de que son ciudadanos americanos.
Exactamente, eso es verdad.
¿Sabes? O sea, ¿por qué no aprender de los americanos de verdad? ¿Por qué no aprender del ciudadano americano de verdad, que tiene su país exageradamente bien?
And I will tell you why, my dear Mila. Te voy a decir en inglés y en español para el beneficio de nuestro invitado aquí, Mr. Olson, that we'll get to him, and we're very grateful that you're patiently listening to us.
I would love to learn.
My English is still basic, very basic.
Okay. So, mi corazón, esta es la postergación de los agitadores pro-independentistas. These are the agitators, pro-independence propaganda, that they're saying that Americans don't want Puerto Rico to become a state, que los americanos no quieren que Puerto Rico se convierta en estado, que la única forma de que Puerto Rico pueda convertirse en una identidad soberana es a través de la independencia. That the only way that Puerto Rico could attain a sovereign control of their political and social environment is through a republic, through independence. And that is false. Eso es falso, mi querida Mila. Eso es falso, porque dentro, tú y yo, como tú bien lo dijiste, vivimos en los Estados Unidos. We live in the United States. We live in Florida. And we have a gentleman here who wants to run for Congress, que quiere coger por el Congreso.
Se lo tengo que decir a él en inglés. Thank you, Lord, for living here.
See? Because, my dear Bill, now that you're here, and Bill Olson, right? Olson, yes. Yep. Republican running for the congressional seat that is held right now currently by Darren Soto. And we're going to get to Darren Soto in a little bit, because ese fuetazo se lo vamos a meter bien duro. But the thing of it is, Bill, you're running for Congress. Tell me, is Florida a sovereign state?
It is. It is a state, and it's sovereign.
Okay, so in that context, if that's the same, the same for Florida, that should be the same for Georgia, Texas, California, the
Yes.
rest of the 50 states, right?
Absolutely.
They have their, even though we have a central government, they have their sovereignty within their own boundaries of the state, right?
They each have their own constitution.
Okay.
Just
So,
like-
mi gente, lo lamento muchísimo para aquellos papagayos que quieran promulgar en la propaganda independentista. I am so sorry of those boneheads that want to keep on pushing the independence propaganda. It doesn't work. Me pueden decir asimilado that I have been assimilated. But you know what? I have not been assimilated because I speak English. I speak Spanish. Y si tú me das un plato de arroz con gandules, if you give me a plate of beans and rice, I will eat it gladly. But if you give me a McDonald's, I will eat that too. If you give me some salad, I'm going to have to eat it because, I got to keep my cholesterol down. But I am not assimilated. They talk about la propaganda independentista dice que nosotros somos subyugados por el amo imperialista, that we're subjugated to our owners, the Yankee imperialists.
Esa es una teoría tan absurda, tan obsoleta, tan ridícula, tan vieja, tan trillada. Óyeme, pero por años le han sembrado a las generaciones un mal gen, por Dios, un mal gen de imperialistas.
That the American people are our owners and we are the slaves. You know what?
Mira, más de la mitad de los países del mundo desearían estar como está Estados Unidos.
I know.
Punto.
I know.
Eso es una realidad. Entonces, el que no ha venido a los Estados Unidos, yo no hablaba mucho de estos temas porque yo estaba en Venezuela, yo no salía de Venezuela, pero yo tengo ya aquí 4 años viviendo, 4 años compartiendo con los ciudadanos americanos.
You've been here 4 years involving yourself with, y tú tomaste un curso.
Tan bellas.
You also took a course about government, and you learned about the American government. She took a course about that.
The citizen people here is very, very beautiful.
Exactly.
Very, very honestic. Very, very the order. O sea, son personas de buena fe. Tú puedes creer en ellas porque tienen palabra. ¿Sabes?
So
all you have to do is walk around anywhere in Kissimmee or St. Cloud or anywhere else there, and you will see that no one is subjugated to any other person.
No.
We're all Americans.
There is no owner. There is no imperialism. It is just a propaganda that wants to be that started in the 1940s when the independence movement in Puerto Rico started losing heat. They started saying, okay, well, we're going to start propagating this lie, and then we're going to make it true. Y eso es lo que no es verdad, y lo lamento, estos agitadores, y lo lamento muchísimo, mi hermano, mi amigo, my friend, my brother from another mother, but Daniel Rivera Jr., el hijo de Dani Rivera, eres un agitador. You're an agitator, bro. You're an agitator because you keep on spitting the same propaganda independentista de Marín, de Juvenvejío, from Borrillos, from Marín, from the old guard of the peeps. And yet you're here in the United States earning a wage, and guess who's paying you? Los Americanos, the Americans are paying you. They're not our enemies. Ellos no son nuestros enemigos. Tú puedes hablar de imperialismo yankee todo lo que te dé la gana. Me puedes citar a Fidel Castro. You could quote Fidel Castro, patria o muerte. But you know what? I can quote further back. And Patrick Henry when he said, give me liberty or give me death. Because the thing of it is that my right to expect my American brothers and sisters to respect the will of Puerto Rico's vote in 2016 by 96% requested statehood. It is up to us, Puerto Ricans, whether we live in the island or whether we live outside of the island in the United States, to declare in one united voice, give me liberty or give me death, give me statehood or give me death. Because we're not fighting like the United States fought a war against England. We know that our brothers and sisters that are American want to help us. We have to educate them so they understand what's going on in the island. Understand what's going on with us as a culture. Al igual que los venezolanos aquí en los Estados Unidos tienen que decirle a los americanos qué es lo que está pasando en Venezuela, porque si no se dice, ellos no lo saben, porque el hijo de la gran yegua de Maduro no quiere que salga ninguna noticia. El hijo de la gran yegua de estos independentistas en Puerto Rico no quieren que los americanos sepan la verdad de lo que está pasando en Puerto Rico y están embobeciendo las mentes de los jóvenes. They're putting stupid ideas in the new youth. And they think that with their T-shirts with Che Guevara and another killer or screaming Patria o Muerte, which was copied by Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro wasn't the first one. He said it in his speech. I will change the words liberty or death, and I will put Patria. I will put country first. Yes. It was a beautiful idea. Oh, I was one of the ones when I was a young, I had younger clothes. I thought of Puerto Rico being a republic. Then all of a sudden I said, wait a minute. We can't be a republic. We don't have the natural resources to be able to compete like Cuba or the Dominican Republic or even Venezuela or Colombia when in the 1970s when Venezuela was a powerhouse of South America. My dear friends, en Puerto Rico tienen que dejar los agitadores populares y los agitadores pipiolos. Deja de estar agitando a la gente, porque va a pasar una tragedia y vamos a desaparecer un patrimonio cultural y entonces sí que vamos a llorar grandes lágrimas. All right? I'm sorry that my monologue took a little bit longer. Gracias, Mila, por interceder. Bill, also, this is my monologue. Puerto Rico, paz y cordura en estos momentos difíciles. Y lamentable, señor Gobernador Ricky Rosselló, this is my last request. You got to step down. You got to do what you got to do, but you got to leave. And you know what? Karma's a bitch. That's all I have to say. That's my monologue. I'm sticking to it. This is Listen to Me. Now, Bill, thank you very much for being a very patient guest. Bill, please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to run against Darren Soto.
Well, my name is Bill Olson, and I am not a politician. Now, a lot of politicians like to say that and kind of trick you, but really, that's the truth with me. I'm a retired United States Army Sergeant First Class. I came to Florida just a few years ago, and I have noticed over those years that it seems like we the people has become we the government. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we just don't seem to have the representative in Darren Soto that actually will listen to the represented people that are here. And that's so a lot of it. And if you ask my wife, she said it's because, well, maybe I just got tired of screaming at the television. I tell you, it is a lot to take in. Mm-hmm. As a non-politician, there's a lot to it that a person would never know. But I'm into it till the end. I am going to defeat Darren Soto. Good. Well, we do have to flip that seat. Nosotros tenemos que cambiar esa silla de Darren Soto porque necesitamos una persona que pueda trabajar para la diversidad de ese distrito. Knowing that the district is so diverse, may we please pick your brain and see how you're going to, what is your strategy to do so? If you don't mind. I know you can't go into the depths of it, but if you could give us a synopsis. Well, what I'm going to do is I just have to let the people see me and hear me and let them understand that I'm there for them, and they're not here for me. Exactly. This is not about me. I am not going for personal power. That's not what this is about. In fact, I don't even expect that I would stay in Congress. Hopefully we could within a couple of terms, I'd be able to go fishing again.
Okay, okay.
That's what we came here for. My wife and I, when we moved, we came to work here at Walt Disney World because we like to have fun. And after I retired from the Army, I just wanted to retire. I wanted to kind of recharge and just kind of take it easy. But unfortunately, fate has not brought us in that direction. Now, as far as how we get to everyone that's out there and the diversity that we have. Well, first of all, we have to stop this, I think it's horrible, this policy of splitting people with identity politics. Okay? You can see it today in the things that are going on. You can see how, and I'm sure there are Republicans that do it also, but I see more of it from my point of view, where I see that Democrats want to split us apart and make it so that because I happen to be a Caucasian, and I don't necessarily agree with something that someone that's not a Caucasian agrees with and believes, that because I don't believe exactly that way, then I'm a racist.
Identity politics, okay?
Okay.
Politics,
and
yeah.
That's wrong.
It is.
Once you start bantering that racist thing, then I have to tell you, them's fighting words.
Oh yeah.
Okay, down here in the South, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when you call me a racist, man, that is you. I mean, there's probably not much that you could say to me or call me that would be worse than that.
Exactly.
Okay?
It is.
So it works. Okay? I know that it works. You see it. It happens all the time. It gets people all whipped up and gets them thinking about what they're going to do with other folks. And let me tell you this. I'm just not going to get into that. Okay? If Darren Soto happens to be a different color than I, who cares?
Exactly.
I don't care. Okay? If I do have a person that is Sergio Ortiz, who's running as a Republican. He'll be in the primary. Now, Sergio and I have talked, and we've decided that we're just not going to get into the mudslinging part of it. Okay?
Good.
All right? Because that's just not going to help anybody.
In other words, you're going to follow the Reagan commandment.
That's right.
All
the
right.
11th commandment of Ronald Reagan, which is, thou shalt not speak
ill
of another Republican.
Good.
Okay?
Well, that's good.
So it doesn't help us at all. And you're just going to have, because to be honest with you, probably there's not going to be that much of a difference between Sergio and myself. It's going to be just about, our policies are going to be very similar. And we're going to just try and represent our constituents in the 9th District. So that part's not going to be that much different. We just have to, between the two of us, we'll just, whoever the voters trust. I think this is what's going to happen, is they'll bond with one of us or the other, and they'll see whether or not they trust us to be able to go into Washington and to take on those people like AOC and Tlaib and Omar and Presley, to be able to go into that arena and be able to go in and slug with them just tit for tat, okay? And because we are Americans, and we do have to keep America not white. That's not what. If you listen to those folks in Washington that are trying to split us, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
For them to say, we just want to keep America white again.
That's wrong.
That's horrible.
And Mila, eso, lo que él habla es bien cierto, porque lo que pasa es que, vuelvo y te digo, como tú estás aprendiendo sobre los modelos políticos de los Estados Unidos, lo que es el modelo republicano y el modelo demócrata, acá el caballero tiene la razón de decir que los demócratas quieren tratar de dividirnos, quieren utilizar la retórica del racismo y de que estamos en una crisis racial en los Estados Unidos, Y yo creo que eso es importante que los que nos estén escuchando o los que nos estén viendo, those that are listening to us or those that are seeing us, it's very important to see the difference between both political models, los dos modelos políticos que existen aquí en los Estados Unidos. Porque todos, it's right what you're saying, we're all from the United States. Nosotros somos todos estadounidenses.
Sí, bueno, fíjate, en cuanto a lo que él dice, es totalmente cierta la postura de que no puedes permitir que se divida.
You shouldn't,
No
what
puedes.
you're saying is that you shouldn't
Por racismo,
allow,
ni por clasismo,
divisions for racism.
ni por clasismo
Yes.
tampoco, porque fíjate, ¿qué sucede? Eso no se lo puedes aceptar a nadie.
It shouldn't be accepted by
a
anybody.
nadie, o sea, a nadie. Ni porque seas demócrata, ni porque seas republicano, no, a
Whether
nadie.
you're a Republican or a Democrat, it
Exacto.
shouldn't be
O sea,
accepted.
ese es un respeto
It's a
respeto a
respect.
ti mismo.
Has nothing to do with race.
Un respeto a
Exactly.
ti mismo, ¿ok? Y ese respeto que tú te tienes a ti, se lo vas a dar a los demás. Entonces,
It's a matter of respect. Pero eso es lo que pasa, Mila, que el respeto, the respect of Congress has been lost, ha estado perdido. Mila, tú has oído
Si eso se pierde.
en inglés tú has oído drain the swamp, lo que habla mucha gente de lo del pantano, de drenar el pantano. Bill, what is okay? Let's play devil's advocate here. You're elected congressman. What are your first steps to try and drain the swamp? ¿Cuáles son tus primeros pasos para drenar el pantano in Washington?
Well, what I would like to do is I would like to work on an amendment to the Constitution.
Él quiere trabajar en cambiar un poco la Constitución americana. And what would be that amendment?
That would put term limits on folks that are in the Senate and the House.
Él quiere poner límites a cuántos años los representantes o los senadores puedan servir dentro del Senado y el Congreso americano.
mira, de verdad te voy a decir una cosa. ¿Cómo me gustaría entender perfectamente el inglés? Porque yo he leído la Constitución de los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica en sus pequeños artículos, pero tan precisos y tan importantes, a diferencia de mi Constitución, que tiene 350 artículos, y que mira cómo está Venezuela.
She says that she has read the American Constitution that has her precise articles versus the Venezuelan Constitution that has some 300 and plus articles, and look how Venezuela is and look how the United States is. Pero ¿tú crees que eso es una buena enmienda a la Constitución, tener términos para los congresionistas y los
pero
senadores?
Fíjate de algo. O sea, yo estoy de acuerdo, siempre estoy de acuerdo, como a buen abogado. O sea, yo no soy
She's a
abogado
lawyer,
venezolano.
and she's a lawyer from Venezuela.
Ajá. Yo le puedo sugerir
I could
al
suggest to
candidato
you
que todas las reformas son buenas.
all reforms are good.
Okay. Siempre que las reformas tengan un límite.
So as long as the reforms have a limit. Sí, tiene
Exacto.
un límite.
Cuando
How
las
long-
reformas no tienen límites,
when the reforms don't have a limit,
pasa lo que pasó en Venezuela.
then that's what happens in Venezuela.
Okay. No podemos tomar la Constitución como algo que podemos hacer lo que nos dé la gana.
We can't take the Constitution and try to change it so much that it just
Exacto, sino
dilutes.
siempre mejorarla para el trabajo
luckily,
de él, mejorarla para
make
su
it,
trabajo,
make it
para el
better
trabajo de
for
los
you,
demás.
so your job is better, but also make it better for us as constituents.
Exactamente.
Luckily, our founding fathers were brilliant in the way that they set this up so that it is not that easy to get amendments to the Constitution,
Yeah.
especially these days. All right.
Él dice que los que crearon la Constitución americana, nuestros fundadores, pues ellos hicieron que fuera un poquito un proceso hacer enmiendas a la Constitución. Pero his possibility of limiting politicians in Congress, but also la Cámara de Representantes y el Senado, House of Representatives and the Senate, I have to agree with him. Yo tengo que estar de acuerdo con él porque yo creo que lo que tenemos que hacer es traer sangre nueva. We need new blood.
And do it, but do it constitutionally, not just saying a law or someone decreeing it with. Because
Totalmente de acuerdo con él.
We have ways in order to do it, and all of the states have to have a say in it.
Todos los
Okay.
estados van a tener un
Everyone
dicho.
has a
No, es
say.
que totalmente de acuerdo con él, porque, o sea,
And listen, the swamp, okay?
El pantano.
It's a real thing.
Es verdadero.
sí, la gente
Okay.
nueva tiene que venir a
If you go out
sustituir.
and you look, like I'm one of those guys that goes to the FEC website and I look at the financial things that are going on, okay? And I look at where Darren Soto is getting his money. He's getting this last. He got about $90,000
Yeah.
from only about 18,000 of that was from constituents, small donors. All the rest of it came from big businesses and
Yep.
companies all around the country.
Él dice que él ha estado investigando donde hay un website donde uno puede, cualquier ciudadano puede mirar las finanzas de los representantes, y él dice que hay un pequeño porcentaje de las donaciones que le llega a Darren Soto son de individuales, individuos constituyentes, pero la gran mayoría viene de negocios grandes. And you're right.
Once you're in,
Una vez que tú estás recibiendo ese dinero
the
grande,
money rolls into you.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, the small guy like me, the regular guy, instead of, you couldn't put a different set of people together than Darren Soto and
Exactly.
myself. Darren Soto could be the nicest guy in the world. I don't know the gentleman. He could be the nicest guy in the world. But guess what? He doesn't think right.
exactly.
Okay? He thinks that it's good not to vote for the package that just happened last week.
Exactly.
Even Nancy Pelosi, for goodness sakes,
She voted
for it.
Yeah.
To help our folks at the border, trying to help out and trying to keep these folks that are at our border that are
Illegal.
either they're illegal. It is.
It
That's
is.
the way. Listen, let's just call it what it is.
Please.
Okay?
Please.
Can we just call it what
Please.
it is?
Let's-
These are people that because our Congress and congressmen like Darren Soto have kept these horrible immigration laws,
In the books.
which bring them here. They're like a bee to the honey.
Yep.
Okay? They're coming to the United States because our Congress, it's not stopping them from coming
No
here.
lo está, no, el Congreso no está parándolo porque no tenemos las leyes. Let's put it this way. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez said to people in a congressional hearing, saying no, they're seeking asylum, and the witness said what? The witness says yeah, but they're coming here illegally. No, but it's not illegal to ask for asylum. No, but when you come here illegally, it's illegal. Si vienes ilegalmente, aunque estás tratando de pedir asilo, estás aquí ilegalmente. And not only, Bill, it's not only that. It's that Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez doesn't understand the underground market of the coyotes,
What
of
we
the
don't
people.
even see. It's the stuff we don't even see. In fact, Cortez, when you talk about that, I have to tell you that those people that are down there, our border control folks and our ICE folks, they are trying to do their best with a horrible situation. Because let me ask you this question. You're leaving one of the Central American countries in the Triangle, it's called.
Mm-hmm.
You're a refugee,
Mm-hmm.
okay? What does the UN say you're supposed to do as a refugee?
Okay. What does the UN say?
They say the first country you come to, you file for
Asylum.
asylum. It doesn't say in the UN that you march across or get someone to put you in a bus or on a train top or whatever, and you pick the country that you want to go to, and you get there by hook or by crook, and you get there, and then you come up to their
Door.
go underneath, or either go to the door or go underneath the
Underneath.
fence or over the top of the fence, and then when you get caught, go, wait a second, I need asylum.
Nah, that don't. Nah.
Folks, that's just not the way that you do things. We cannot. America is unapologetic.
Yep.
Unapologetic.
Yep.
The best country in the world that ever was.
Exactly.
Why is that? Is it because we create concentration camps on our border?
No.
That's absurd.
That's absurd. We have holding facilities that take care of the people as best as they can, but we need the money to be able to treat them with humanity and respect. And it is Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez and the Fab Five that are trying to divert, play smoke and mirrors, quieren jugar humo y espejo, un truco mágico, by saying, hey, the president is a homophobic, he's a racist, we got to take the guns away from our legal people, we got to take away your Second Amendment rights, tus derechos a tener armas y proteger tus bienes y tus propiedades, porque hay que ayudar a estas personas a quedarse en los Estados Unidos. No, it's like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says, oh no, we got to get health care to all children. No. We got to
We're
first...
lucky to be able to get people that are in the United States right now to be able to get health care.
Exactly.
Okay? We have to decide whether or not we're going to go with the folks that are open border, and the socialists, the AOCs of the world, and the AOCs of Congress. We have to decide whether their way's the way or what I'm espousing is the way. And what I'm saying is that you have to be compassionate for the people that are coming to our border. Yes, but you don't take a red flag and stand and wave it in front of a bull.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because you know what's going to happen.
The bull's going to attack.
That's right, and he's got horns, and that's not going to end well for you. Okay? So and we have to remember, it is not just your run-of-the-mill, just normal people that are coming out of these places. There are people coming into the country every day that we don't even see, or we see that want to do ill in our country.
Exactly.
Okay? Whether it be terrorist ill or crime ill.
They're criminals. They're criminals. And what these people...
Some of the people.
Yeah. You're right. Some of these people are criminals and they want to harm us. They either want to do either criminal activity or terrorist activity, my dear friend. And that is what we cannot let United States sink to the level of what happened in Venezuela. Because if it happened in Venezuela, it happened in Cuba, we cannot let that love or stigma of the socialist movement take root here in the United States. So I applaud you for running for Congress, and I applaud everybody else within the United States that are running for public office. And I do support, and I hope I could speak with Sergio and we could come to a consensus that either of you, whoever comes to be the one running against Darren Soto, will run with that platform of having term limits for congressmen and senators, because we do need that new blood. I think that your idea will drain the swamp, will begin to drain the swamp, among other things that we need to address.
Yes,
Bill,
for days.
one thing before we forget: how can people get a hold of you? Do you have social media? There's an email. What's a website? What's out there?
So I'm on Facebook. You just put it's Bill Olson for Congress.
Mm-hmm.
You just put that in the search, so you'll be able to see my Facebook. Also, I have a website. It is Bill Olson. www.BillOlson. That's OLSON. That's the Swedish Olson.
Okay.
OLSON. Bill Olson, FL, Florida.com.
Great.
BillOlsonFlorida.com. FL.
Good. Do you have events going on throughout the district planned, or we're still working on your calendar?
So we're in the very early stages. I have to tell you, mainly right now, I'm just meeting with the folks as I go out and try and meet with as many folks as I can at the different clubs and that we have that are out. We have a lot of Republican clubs.
Mm-hmm,
I would like to actually go out to some of the Democratic clubs and talk to some folks too, because I have a feeling that we are not as far apart as if you start taking that race card out of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you start taking that race card out and you get past that there are many people in this district that maybe I've been told that many folks from Puerto Rico, from the island, are Catholic or Christian.
Yep.
And they're very pro-life. They're
Yep.
against abortion, things
Yep.
like that. Now that is common ground that we can talk about, because I am absolutely pro-life. It is a horrible thing. It shouldn't be. We should not be killing the children in our wombs.
Nope.
It is. It's all smoke and mirrors, folks, when they start talking, well, it's all about a woman's health care. Folks, that's not what this is about. This is about wanting to protect a
life.
human life.
You're right.
Okay?
You're right.
And just because I happen to be a man, that doesn't stifle me from being able to say, we shouldn't do this.
We
It shouldn't be done.
We shouldn't give birth to a baby and then have the mom say, okay, by the way, I really don't want this baby, kill it.
Yeah,
No,
that
sorry.
was
Because
shocking, wasn't it?
that is, eso es algo que nosotros tenemos como nación, como estadounidense, nosotros tenemos que defender la vida. Nosotros tenemos que we have to defend life. And even if it's the woman's body, es el derecho de la mujer a hacer una decisión. Nosotros esperamos que la decisión que haga esa mujer es pro vida. We always ask that woman with her right to choose life. Because a lot of, you're right, it's nothing but a smoke and mirror. It's still a life.
Can you, as a woman, shoot up heroin? Is that legal?
No.
Can you, as a woman, break into a house?
A house? No.
Well, wait a second. Why is that?
'Cause
You're a
there's-
woman, you're in charge of yourself. You're supposed to be able to do what you want, right?
Because there's laws that in the books that prohibit that, even for a man or a woman.
That's exactly right. Okay, let's dismiss that argument once and for all, that women have some right to do things that other people are not allowed to do, which means you cannot kill another person
And get away with
and
it.
get away with it. All right, and that's exactly what happens when a child is in that womb. Especially because it's this, here we go with the slippery slope, because we'll see since 75, Roe versus Wade, if you would look at the Roe versus Wade decision, you're going to see it's way more restrictive than what we have right now.
Exactly.
Okay, because over time, with liberal judges
Yep.
and liberal, mostly liberal judges,
Yep.
they've slipped and slipped and slipped and farther to the left, and then the next thing you know, oh my goodness, we've got a governor of the state of Virginia talking about how when a child would be actually born, and they're going to set it off on the side, they're going to make it comfortable,
Yep.
and then the parents, get this, are going to have a conversation.
Yep. Es algo,
Oh,
es algo increíble que a estas alturas, at this time in 2019, tengamos esta conversación donde una madre puede decidir que nazca el bebé, lo pongan en la mesa, lo hagan, el bebé está bien y entonces van a tener una conversación si ese bebé vive o no. Eso pasa en Virginia, my dear Mila.
Definitivamente el hombre va a acabar el mundo. No el mundo va a acabar el mundo.
Definitely men will or women will end this world because it is flabbergasting. Yo entiendo tu punto.
No, pero es que, o sea, ¿cómo tú entiendes que después de que nazca un bebé Tú decidas si vive o no.
How do you put a price, or how do you put sense into a person that gives birth to a baby and then decides whether it lives or dies?
Mira, yo sé que el punto del aborto es bien álgido para muchos.
The topic of abortion is a very divisive topic for many.
Yo como mujer, evidentemente no abortaría.
As a woman, myself, I wouldn't do an abortion.
Okay. Pero como mujer, tengo
As
que
a
pensar
woman,
como otra mujer.
I would have to think as another woman.
Exacto. Entonces, pueden existir casos, que de hecho lo existen,
There are other cases that does exist
que son necesarios los abortos.
where an abortion is necessary.
Okay. Ahora, cuando
Now,
tú agarras el aborto
When you
Como
do an abortion
un hobby,
as a hobby,
no está bien.
then it's not good.
Porque no voy a tener un hijo, o
I'm
sea,
not
salgo
going to have one
preñada,
kid.
aborto este.
I'm
Mañana
going
salgo
to
preñada,
have another
aborto
abortion, and then I'm going to get pregnant again, and I'm going to have another abortion. It's a hobby.
Yo haría una ley
I would make a
que
law.
acepto el aborto,
I would
pero
accept
cuando
one
sea
abortion
necesario.
when it is necessary medically.
La mujer que aborte
A woman that
lo
commits
normal,
an abortion more than normal,
le quito sus órganos reproductores.
I would take away her reproductive organs. So she's a little bit more stricter. And she's a lawyer in Venezuela, so
Discúlpame, discúlpame, es una
sorry about
manera,
that.
es una manera de concientizar
it's
que no
it's a
estás
way of making conscience
teniendo en tu cuerpo un monstruo.
that you do not have a monster in your body.
Tú creaste ese bebé.
You created that creature, that
Entonces
baby,
debes ser responsable.
and you must be responsible.
Si no eres responsable, no tenga más hijos.
If you're not responsible, don't have
Tenga
kids.
sexo como usted quiera, pero sin hijos.
Have the sex, but no babies.
Yeah,
So-
get that surgery done ahead of
So
time.
here we have a very poignant point here.
So, I'm so sorry, sir. It's my...
No, listen. This is the difference between, let's say, if I were sitting with Ocasio-Cortez sitting next to me. All right, she would be screaming at me, okay, and beseeching how I'm a Nazi who wants to, because I don't agree with her. Okay,
Es una diferencia.
People can disagree with me.
Cuando una mujer
course.
tiene más abortos,
When a woman has more
más
abortions
abortos y no tiene un hijo,
and doesn't have a
te
kid,
indica que no quiere hijos, que lo que quiere es sexo.
it's an indication that the woman just wants to have sex, not kids.
Exacto. Entonces quítale los órganos y tiene
Yeah.
sexo.
Take away the reproductive organs,
Se
and that's
resuelve
it.
el problema.
Problem solved. But again, pero si tú escuchara a Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, if Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez would hear you, muchacho, she would be screaming bloody murder.
No, ya va, te voy a decir una cosa, ya va.
What am
Vamos a
I,
hacer,
as a
vamos a ser
Caucasian male?
conscientes.
Mira,
Vamos a ser
let's be
conscientes.
conscious.
Me puede escuchar Alejandra y quien sea. El Papa, si
Alexandra
quiere, me
could
puede,
hear me and whoever.
y el Papa, si quiere, me puede
Even
escuchar.
to the Pope.
Pero sabes que es bien
And
grave,
guess what?
es
Not
muy
just
grave.
her.
Not just her.
Es muy grave. Traer hijos al
friend.
mundo y votarlos,
Bring kids to the world and just put them to the side
o por tener sexo de
just to
manera
have sex.
inescrupulosa,
without ethics
procrear niños
and to bring kids
para
into
después
this world
matarlos.
to just kill them. It's unethical.
Simplemente porque no soy una persona responsable.
Because the mother is not a responsible person.
Entonces debemos diferenciar cuándo
We have
puedo
to
abortar
we have to differentiate when
Y-
we could have an abortion
porque soy responsable y
because
asumo que debo
because she's
hacerlo.
responsible and there is a medical condition,
Ahora, cuándo lo estoy haciendo por
and when
irresponsable.
I'm irresponsible. There's a big difference between the choice of a
Son
body of
hechos jurídicos distintos que necesitan ser regulados en el mundo.
It has to be. She says that those are judiciary topics that have to be differentiated one way or another. And again, she hasn't read about, ella no ha leído Roe versus Wade. She hasn't studied that part of the American law. But if she would study that, she would see that it's kind of
There
in
were
tune.
lots of restrictions on Roe versus Wade.
Hubo muchas restricciones en las leyes sobre los abortos.
And then it just started going over.
Y empezó a irse hacia la izquierda y hacia la izquierda y hacia la izquierda hasta que pasó lo que pasó en Virginia. So what happened in Virginia? That our governor said that the possibility.
Pero es que es fácil no tener
Luckily,
hijos.
didn't get passed.
No pasó.
Luckily.
Esa ley no pasó.
Okay.
Gracias a Dios.
And to be honest with you, I would be happy, at least for a start, that we would just allow our states to be able to decide this.
Y aquí es donde viene lo que estamos hablando de la soberanía de los estados, que we think that los estados deben de ser los que decidan sobre esos casos de aborto. I do believe that the states should be the ones.
I have my personal thoughts on it, but also I think that our federal government, it gets itself into so much things. They're always into everything that you can think of. And it's like, sometimes people ask me, well, when you go to Congress, what are you going to do? Most of the time, nothing.
Exactly.
All right? I'm gonna be a firewall. Okay? I'm gonna be a firewall to those extremists that are up there. Now, that's not to say that I won't look at things that need to be done, and I won't set up legislation and put legislation forward to help the folks in Florida, in my district, as well as the rest of Florida, and also helping the rest of the United States. Okay? But my prime thing is not to go there to go and start making this law and that law, and because I believe we have too many laws already. We've got too many laws.
Eliminate the control of the central government, eliminar el control del gobierno federal y dejar que los estados hagan sus propias cosas. Si el gobierno federal tiene que interceder, if there's something that the states can't figure out, well, then that's where the federal government should come in. Hey, let's solve it. Goodbye, see you. You keep on going.
What did President Trump do? First thing he went in and he started cutting those regulations.
Yep, he cut regulations.
President Obama, he's a low-grade socialist. Okay,
yep.
He thinks that the government knows what to do.
Needed to do everything and anything, including healthcare.
Okay, so President Trump came in. He said, "You know what? We don't need all this." Okay. Now, are there some things that we maybe needed that he did cut? There is a thing or two that I think we need to look at. That one of them is the way we've handled coal right now, because that is a big issue in the 9th District right now, especially in Osceola County.
Exactly.
Now, for those of you that don't know, there's out in Halapaw, which is out almost halfway to Melbourne.
Yep.
Okay. They have a landfill out there, and I want to be very specific. Puerto Rico, the country, didn't send
the ashes,
the coal ashes. Okay, there is ashes that are part of when in Puerto Rico and all around the world, here in the U.S. especially too. Whenever you burn coal, okay, there's a residue, and in that residue there is some pretty dangerous stuff.
Exactly.
It's called coal ash. Okay, and it has mercury and cyanide and about a dozen other things that you wouldn't want getting into your water systems and stuff.
Exactly.
There is right now a very big debate whether or not the tests that they use to decide whether or not they're contaminating the groundwater and the soil around an area like where they're taking this coal ash in and depositing it. Okay, exactly. They took 650 million tons and they're bringing it. Now it's going to end up being less because, boy, I have to tell you, when we first found out about this going on, we certainly went down there. And
a lot of hell was raised because of that.
That's right. Yeah. And I'll be darned if I'm not friends with a few liberals that are environmental folks. Okay, and I agree with them on this particular thing. Okay, we shouldn't be taking coal ash, not because it's coming from Puerto Rico, just taking coal ash and bringing it into our area. Now, I think that what's happened is that the test that because the government is telling us that the test that they do there's no contamination, but there's another test called the leaf test, and that's an acronym for something that gives you a clearer idea of what is being leached into the ground and into the groundwater, and it's not good.
Well,
all right. So when I was in the Army, when I would tell one of the generals or the colonels or whatever, hey, this is a problem. So he doesn't want to know what the problem is. He wants to know what the answer to fix it is.
Wow.
And you walk up to him and say, hey, well, here's the problem, then that's the first thing he's going to say. What do we do to fix it? Well, you have to be prepared. So I think just like we have a place out in Nevada. Now the people in Nevada, I get it. You don't like it that we're bringing in the radioactive stuff into Yucca Mountain. We've spent billions of dollars in order to make this storage spot for all of our radioactive waste. Right now, all that waste is, whether it's coal ash or nuclear waste, those spent fuel rods, those are stored on site wherever that place is. If it's a nuclear power plant, that's where they're stored. And there have been big problems. In fact, down up north of here in North Carolina, where the flooding has caused contamination, horrible stuff got into the water, and it's not good. So I believe we should move that stuff out into that same place they're going to be moving the unsafe to Yucca Mountain. I think that's what should be done with that coal ash and not be put around in our landfills.
Well, Bill, time has passed. An hour sometimes is not enough. Can we invite you back again? Next Tuesday, we don't have a show because our brother Miguel Montes is going to be in Mexico, but we want you back, and we have a lot of information to provide. And 1 hour couldn't do it, so I'm very grateful that you were patient while we were doing our first part of the show. Is there any possibilities that we could have you coordinate with you so you could come to future shows?
I will come over.
Thank you. Bill, please, before we leave, what's that website that you have for?
Website is www.billolsonfl.com.
Well, Mr. Bill Olson, thank you very much for being here at the award-winning show. Listen to me. Mi amor, Mila, ya tenemos otro show en los libros. El martes que viene no tenemos show, so es el 30 que vamos a volver a estar aquí. So the 30th will be here. Mi amor, algunas palabritas antes que te vayas, por favor.
Mi vida, gracias por esta invitación. Gracias a Bill Olsen, un placer conocerlo. Venezuela, estamos con un candidato acá. Esperemos que escuchen nuestros ruegos para que Venezuela salga de esta dictadura. Los amo mucho y esperemos aquí trabajar y construir para un futuro mejor, no solo en Venezuela, sino en todos los países que se pueda alcanzar.
Bien dicho, mi amor. So we want to wish Bill good luck. What she said was to get in tune with other Venezuelan American organizations here in Central Florida around your district, so you could get information. We'll help you with that.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we again, respecting the Reagan commandment, we would like to have you and Sergio come here so we could have a sharing of ideas. One thing, Bill, you'll know about my show is that we like to share. Think of it as a think tank. Probably things that you don't know and Sergio knows, or Sergio doesn't know that you know, can be shared, because when we have good candidates, we have a good reason to win moving forward. And we're all in the same team. Do you believe that?
Absolutely. And one of the things is that I knew that you knew a lot about the stuff that's going on in Puerto Rico right now. And I am not as schooled on that as I am on some other things. So, I will come anytime to be able to
Fantastic.
Because I want to learn.
Bueno, mi gente, este es otro capítulo más de Listen to Me, the award-winning show. So, if you think that I'm friends with the imperialists and that I have propaganda and that I'm going to be assimilated, or I don't know what hell is going to freeze over, lo lamento muchísimo. Soy libre, vivo en un estado soberano y busco la estadidad, and I say it con mucho orgullo. Give me statehood or give me death. Dame la estadidad o muerte. Yo soy JJ Rodríguez. Listen to me.